Welcome back. Tonight, we're going to build an app in the all-new Claude Sonnet 4.6 model. There's two important changes with the new Claude Sonnet 4.6 model. First, it's going to be lighter on your pocketbook. It's cheaper than Opus 4.6. You got to love that. Second, the context window's bigger. It's now up to 1 million tokens. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to build a tailgating application. I call it Tailgate Checklist, the game day ready app, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to build this in Flutter. So we're going to set the directory up within Flutter using Android Studio. From there, we're going to copy the UI that we've created in Google Stitch over to the new Sonnet 4.6 model in the CLI. And we're going to build this out. And let's see if we can one-shot this thing. I purposely left a few things out to see how smart Sonnet was, to see if it could connect the dots like its big brother Opus, right? I was pretty impressed with Opus 4.6 on how there was things I didn't exactly tell it to do, and it was just smart enough to do them, right? We built a NFL Super Bowl squares game with Opus 4.6, and let me tell you, it was fantastic. If Sonnet 4.6 is half as good as its big brother, we're in luck. So let's get started. Let me tell you what we're going to start with is the UI. The most important thing of any program is the UI. And you guys know what I love? Google Stitch. It's fabulous. So I've taken the liberty to already create the UI for you guys. I use my colors here of Jez Digital, the blue and the orange. You know, got a nice little look here. And all we're doing is we're creating 3 screens that we're copying out here. We created this prompt within Google Gemini, and we basically said, create a tailgate app that has a template, right? Has a checklist and an add item screen. What I'm kind of curious about is I didn't tell it to say, use this template. I don't know if it'll be smart enough to pick any of that up or anything like I didn't tell it to do the favorites list or anything like that, or create a custom template. I didn't tell it how to do that. So I'm kind of curious if it can jump to any of that logical reasoning and come up with its own ideas. So Opus 4.6, it did a little bit of that when I tried it. So after I've done this, I copied the image out. I went back to Google Gemini and I said, create me a prompt to give to Claude Sonnet 4.6, right? And so it gave me this prompt. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy this response here. And let's go over to Android Studio and start out by building our directory. So let's get the terminal window put aside here for now. All right. First thing we're going to do is new Flutter project. And we're going to choose next. And what we've got here is the title of this. We will just call this, we'll call it football checklist, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to just do it for Android just to keep it simple tonight. So there we go, football checklist. We're creating that in test. It's not our production. And there you go. It's going to build this out. It's going to build the structure for us. Right, here's the directory. So now when we go into our terminal and we change the directory, right, to test, we change the directory to, what do we call it? Football checklist. Should have everything in there, right? Now, I've already gone ahead and upgraded my CLI in this to Sonnet 4.6. So there will be some work for those of you that haven't updated it yet. What you'll need to do is you'll want to update the model. So as you can see right here, I've updated this model to 4.6. You can also change a model if you haven't done that by just doing /model. And see that it'll let you change it, but we're going to keep it at Sonnet, right here. Okay, so there we go. We're going to keep it at the Sonnet 4.6. Okay, so now we're ready for the prompt. Okay, so let's go back to, well, I guess we've already copied it. We've also copied the UI over here. So let's drag and drop that to give it kind of some UI direction. Now let's go ahead and do a Control V and let's paste our prompt to see how we do here. Okay. So we'll see if it has any questions in the planning phase. Right. So here we go. So while we're running that, let's talk a little bit about the application, the prompt I gave it. I told it for ease of use, let's just do a local SQL database. So it may come back and ask us some questions like that. I've been using Firebase a lot lately. Anybody who's been following me knows I've been loving Firebase on the back end. You know, you got 3 different choices of SQL databases, and it's been fantastic. So what we're going to build here is a Flutter project, which the advantage of Flutter is if I wanted to, I could have already created this for not only Android, but also an iOS app as well. So I could have developed it for both at the same time. So speed of development's a big advantage for me. You'll see this thing down here called Dart files. It's creating the main.dart. That's your start file for a Flutter project is main.dart. So as you can see, we're going through the planning phase now. So let's see what it's running here. Let's see. It's got tips. Okay. Let's enlarge this a little bit to see if it's doing anything. Okay, so it's right now it's just reading the files. All right, so it's thinking. Looks like it's planning. So the other thing that I've done, let me show you the other thing that I've done here. In the GUI screen, I've also updated this. So once you're in, if you're running the Mac, so up here under Claude, right, you can check for updates right there. And it says you're running the latest version. If you're like me and you already did the upgrade. So over here, we're in the chat window right here. We got the co-work. So I'm pretty excited to try this, try the new skills and some agents maybe. And you can do your GUI code right here. Right there, the auto accept edits. That seems like, I don't know if that's new or not. Ask permissions. Let's see, automatically accept all file edits. I actually think that's new. I don't know about you guys. Reply to me in the comments if that's not. Maybe I just didn't see it, but I think this is, because normally it just says plan mode and ask mode. I'm positive this is new, actually. So we could have done it now with the GUI side. With that being said, if that's just going to automatically do the normally, what is it, dangerously accept permissions or whatever that is. Here, I got it written down over here. Let's not in whisper flow over here. I got it saved in talk type. But right here, it replaces this, the Claude -- dangerously skip permissions. I believe that's new. So that would be great in the GUI. I mean, you'll see a lot of people switching over from terminal at that point. All right. So look how light that token use is. So pretty minimal right there. So here we go. Act as a senior Flutter designer. Okay, it's telling us the tech stack, telling it we want MySQL, and it's telling us the 3 screens that we want. It's telling us to check the UI, the PNG file that we've attached, right? All right, so it's still reading the 3 files. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this run, and I'll tell you guys when we get back how long this took. And currently we're at 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So when we get back, let's jump into it. Hopefully we'll be ready to test. All right. Welcome back. So that took another 6.5 minutes to run. We've ran it with no errors. So let's go ahead and test it in the emulator. So let's go back over here to Android Studio. We've loaded the emulator. We've selected it. Now all we have to do is hit the play button and let's see if we can launch. We should see a little Flutter icon here. And then what we should do is see our app. There we go. We got the Flutter icon and let's see how it looks. Okay, let's enlarge this a little bit so the audience at home can see it. Here we go. We got use this template. So let's try to use, let's say we're going to a Jacksonville Jaguars football game, right? I am a season ticket holder for my beloved Jacksonville Jaguars. Pretty tough loss to the Bills. Congrats to the Bills fans out there who got to see an extra game this year. Okay, so now let's go check out the checklist. Here we go. We got the football checklist. We've got burgers. We've got burger buns. Let's go ahead and add a test. Let's say we're going to bring a food item here. We'll just put test in here. right? Quantity of 2, unknown person will bring it. There we go. So we've got that. So it looks like the scroll feature does not work. Now, one thing I've noticed is in the templates, let's see if this works. Let's see if I can switch it because I didn't tell it to do this. Let's see if it's smart enough to know to use this template. So under here, baseball barbecue, there we go. For the baseball game, let's see if it switched it. And there you go. It did switch it. Still thinks we're in the football gear, but it did switch it to 12 items, right? Baseball mitts. Icon didn't figure that one out. But anyhow, it did switch it to the list. So that's pretty good. So we've got just a few bugs here. We got to add a scroll list, right? Back here on the templates, let's see if the scroll list works. Nope. So we'd have to add the scroll list, right? We'd have to add favorites. Isn't working. Let's check this out to see if we can text, right? So we got a few things, but not bad, right? I'd call that an MVP, minimal viable project, right? At least we're close. I mean, a couple edits here or there, and we're off. So, but just to go back over what we covered, the biggest thing that I think all of you guys are going to like is the amount of tokens that you're getting with this. The context memory's larger. You get 1 million tokens, and it's cheaper. So, it didn't look like that big of a difference. Maybe Opus 4.6 was a little faster. It may have came up with a couple different ideas in like an Opus 4.6. I think it might have gathered some of the suggestions that we had in place here, such as, the texting, the shared, Opus 4.6. I think it would have probably got that. But for the money, it's not bad, right? Because you saw the token usage. It was barely anything compared to like Opus 4.6. So you get a lot of bang for your buck in this model, let me tell you. I'm pretty excited about it. So can't wait to see what's next too. I'll bet you there's going to be some big changes coming in like the Claude Cowork, as well as the Claude Code GUI interface. So can't wait to see that. The agents and the skills. So maybe we'll do a skills video or an agent video tomorrow. But all right. Thanks for tuning in again tonight. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. And as always, have a good night.